Are you tired of feeling stuck? Just, lost in that German medical licensing maze?
Yeah.
Watching your precious time, your energy just disappear.
It happens all the time. It's a huge hurdle.
Yeah. And you've got that big goal, right? Working as a doctor right here in Germany.
The dream.
Because if that's you, there's one thing you absolutely need. Your essential entry ticket. It's the German approbation.
That's the one, the license.
But let's be real. Figuring out how to get it, it can feel less like a clear path and more like you're hacking through some kind of dense bureaucratic jungle.
Oh, absolutely. It's incredibly overwhelming. You arrive, you've got your qualifications, you're ready to go, but the system itself, it's just a mystery. Who do I talk to? Which forms? Where do I even start?
Exactly. And that feeling, that's precisely why we're doing this deep dive today. We're going to cut through all that confusion.
Oh, okay.
We're pulling the key insights, the map, directly from Lesson 2 of the free Module 0 in the ArztWerden online course. Dr. Esam Shahlol's system.
Right, the Ready to Start module.
This lesson is called Your Path to Approbation. How does the system in Germany work? And what's so powerful about this, what makes it a real game changer, isn't just the facts. It actually maps out your journey.
It provides that structure.
Yes. It gives you the prep you need and shows you the clear route through that jungle we mentioned.
And what's really helpful right off the bat is how it simplifies the starting point. It makes it super clear that your specific path, it really depends on one main thing, where you actually did your medical studies.
Okay, so 2 main roads, basically.
Fundamentally, yes. 2 primary roads you might take.
All right, let's break them down. Road number 1.
That's the equivalency assessment. Or in German, the Gleichwertigkeitsprüfung.
Okay, gleich.
Yeah.
Wertigkeitsprüfung. Got it. Who's this for?
So this path is typically for doctors who studied medicine within the EU or the EEA or Switzerland.
Okay. EU, EEA, Switzerland. Makes sense. So what happens there?
Well, the authorities, they look closely at your training program itself, they ask. Is it basically equivalent to German medical training standards?
All right, apples to apples, sort of.
Exactly. And if it is considered equivalent and, you meet the other key requirements like your German language skills are up to par, then you're often on a more direct path to getting your approbation.
So less hassle potentially if your training lines up closely.
Potentially, yes. It's focused on that educational equivalence.
Okay, now road number 2. And you mentioned this is the one many people listening might be facing.
Yes, the lesson highlights this. It's a very common path for international doctors coming to Germany. This road leads towards the knowledge examination. In German, that's the Kenntnisprüfung, usually just called the KP.
KP. Got it. So who takes the KP route?
This applies if you finished your medical studies outside the EU, the EEA, or Switzerland, what Germany calls a third country.
Okay, so anywhere else, basically.
Pretty much. Now, the authorities will still assess your training, just like on the first path. But very often, they find what they term significant differences when they compare it to the German curriculum and how doctors are trained here.
Significant differences. That sounds important.
It is, because if those differences are identified, and again, that's quite common for degrees from third countries, you then have to prove you possess the necessary knowledge and skills to practice medicine safely in Germany.
And the KP, the knowledge examination, that's how you prove it.
That's exactly it. It's your opportunity to demonstrate your competence according to German standards.
Okay, this already brings up a huge question. The one that causes so much stress, right?
Yeah.
Who decides all this? Who's checking my documents? Who says significant differences? Who makes me take the KP?
That's the core of the confusion for so many people. It feels like this impenetrable wall of bureaucracy.
The authority jungle, as you called it.
Exactly. And this lesson immediately hands you a crucial piece of the map right here. It makes it really clear. Education and professional licensing in Germany, it's not handled by one single big federal office.
Okay, that's key.
It's the responsibility of the individual federal states, the Länder, as they're called in German.
Right, like Bavaria or North Rhine-Westphalia or Berlin.
Precisely. So the specific authority you need to deal with depends entirely on which German state you plan to apply in and where you ultimately want to work.
And what are these authorities called? Does it vary?
It does vary slightly. They're typically called Approbationsbehörden, approbation authorities, or sometimes Landesprüfungsämter, which means state examination offices. You have to check for the specific state.
Okay, this makes that example from the lesson crystal clear. Dr. Anya Sharma, coming from India to Bavaria, feeling totally overwhelmed.
A very common scenario.
Her head was spinning, right? Questions like, who actually checks my stack of documents? Where do I apply for the medical language exam, the FSP? Is this local government office, the government of Upper Bavaria, the same thing as the medical association, the Ärztekammer? Are they connected?
Total confusion, and the lesson is really clear on this point. If you felt that way, that kind of disorientation is completely normal. It's baked into the system, unfortunately.
So it's not just you feeling lost.
Not at all. But the key insight here, the absolute must-do that the source emphasizes, is this. You must figure out, as early as possible, which specific authority is responsible for which specific step in the process. And it has to be for this state where you intend to work.
Because it's often not just one office handling everything.
Exactly. Like Dr. Sharma's questions show, there's usually a central licensing authority, the Approbations Behörde or equivalent, that handles your main application, checks your documents, maybe admits you to the exams.
Okay.
But then a different body, often the state's medical association, the Ärztekammer, is typically the one that actually conducts the specialized medical language test, the Fachsprachprüfung or FSP.
Ah, okay. So knowing that distinction alone stops you from wasting time talking to the wrong people.
Huge time saver. Stops you knocking on the wrong doors, sending documents to the wrong place.
So what's the first practical step the lesson suggests? Something someone listening right now could actually do.
It's simple, but really powerful. Go online. Find the website of the main licensing authority, the Approbationsbehörde or Landesprüfungsamt, for the specific federal state where you plan to work.
That's your starting point.
That's your ground zero. That website is where you start identifying the key players and requirements for your specific journey in that specific state.
Okay. So let's say you've figured out your likely path, equivalency or KP, and you know you need to find the right state authority. What's the general process look like from application to actually getting that approbation certificate?
Right. The lesson maps out the common steps. And while, minor details might shift a bit from state to state, the core path, the fundamental sequence, is pretty consistent across Germany.
Good. Consistency helps. What's step one?
Step 1, application submission.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. This is where you gather all those required documents we talked about.
Your degree, transcripts, language certificates, CV, everything.
Everything on their checklist. And you submit that complete application package to the responsible authority you identified in your chosen state.
Okay, package sent. What's next? Step 2.
Step 2, document check. The authority takes your package and reviews it. First, they check, is everything there? Is it complete according to their list?
Right, ticking the boxes.
And then, crucially, they begin the formal assessment of your medical training's equivalency compared to the German standard. This is where they look for those significant differences if you're from a third country.
Got it. So they check completeness, then dive into the substance of your training. Then what? Step 3.
Step 3, the official decision. This is a really pivotal moment in the process. You'll receive a formal written notification. It's called the Bescheid.
The Bescheid. Okay, what does it say?
It tells you the official outcome of that equivalency assessment. It will either confirm that your training is considered equivalent.
Great news if that happens.
Absolutely. Or, and again, this is very common, especially for third country applicants, it will formally state that you are required to pass the knowledge examination, the KP, to get your approbation.
So the Bescheid is where you find out definitively if you need to take the KP.
Yes. It might also specify if you need to pass the medical language exam, the FSP, often before you can even sit for the KP. The exact sequence can vary a little.
Okay, so the Bescheid sets the next stage, which leads us to step 4.
Step 4. The examinations. Based on what your Bescheid says, this is where you buckle down, prepare for, and then actually take the required exams.
So likely the FSP, the medical language test, and or the KP, the knowledge exam.
Typically, yes. This is your chance to actively demonstrate your medical knowledge and your specialized language skills under German examination conditions.
All right. You prepare, you take the exams, you pass them. What's the final step? The finish line.
The finish line. Step 5, approbation. Once you've successfully passed all the required examinations and met any other conditions that might have been listed in your Bescheid.
Like maybe submitting an updated background check or something.
Could be, yeah. Once everything is fulfilled, you are officially issued your approbation certificate.
The golden ticket.
That's it. That certificate is your license to practice medicine independently anywhere in Germany.
Wow. Okay, so laid out like that, 5 steps. Application, document check, Bescheid, exams, approbation. It sounds, well, structured.
It is a structured process. And look, hearing it all laid out might still sound like quite a lot right now. That's understandable.
Yeah, it's still a journey.
But what you've just received is the fundamental overview. The basic route is now mapped out. You've gone from potentially feeling completely lost in that jungle to actually seeing the path ahead.
That initial clarity, that first map,
Yeah.
that's really the benefit of having a system, isn't it?
That's exactly what a proven system like ArztWerden provides. It takes that overwhelming authority jungle and transforms it into navigable terrain, step by step.
In this lesson, it doesn't just give you the map, it actually pushes you to start using it right away, doesn't it?
It does. It suggests practical things, like creating your own simple checklist for your very first steps towards approbation.
What kind of things would be on that checklist?
Things you can do now, like Task 1, find the correct responsible authority for the state I want to work in. Task 2, get an overview of the specific documents they require, not just general lists. Task 3, check the exact language certificates they accept and figure out, honestly, where am I right now with my language level?
So concrete, actionable tasks, not just theory.
Exactly. These aren't abstract ideas. They're things you can tick off. And it goes further. It poses a direct, really powerful reflection question straight to you, the listener.
Okay, what's the question?
It asks you to consider, based on where you studied medicine, which of those two main paths we discussed, the equivalency assessment or the knowledge examination, which one likely applies to your specific situation?
Making it personal.
And second part, what is your current status regarding the required German language certificates? Do you have them? Are they the right ones? What level?
So it forces you to take stock of your actual starting point.
Precisely. Answering those questions honestly, that shifts you. You move from being just a passive listener taking in complex info to becoming an active participant who's taking clear, intentional steps forward on your own specific path.
You go from feeling disoriented to feeling informed and ready for action.
That's the goal.
Okay, so this deep dive, drawing from just this one lesson in the free module, has given you that crucial foundational map. It's cut through that first thick layer of complexity.
You know, you've now received a powerful fraction, just a glimpse, really, of the clarity the full ArztWerden system can offer you.
Right. Look, if you're done with the guessing games,
All right.
if you're ready to stop wasting months, maybe even years, hitting dead ends and feeling frustrated, if you want to install the complete, proven operating system for your success as a doctor in Germany.
The system that guides you through every single one of these steps and beyond.
The exact system that helped Dr. Esam Shahlol himself and countless other international doctors navigate this whole process and pass their FSP and KP, often on the very first try.
And that system comes with all the tools, right? All the document templates, the detailed checklists for every stage, the amazing AI library that helps cut through the red tape, plus that supportive community of doctors all going through the same thing.
Then honestly, the full ArztWerden online package isn't just some nice-to-have option. It's your logical, necessary next step to accelerate your journey.
Think about the cost comparison. The investment required for the complete system. It is absolutely tiny when you stack it up against the enormous cost of not having it.
What cost?
The cost of lost time, months or years of potential earning gone. The cost of wasted money on incorrect applications, unnecessary translations, or maybe even failed exam attempts because you weren't properly prepared. And frankly, the sheer stress and anxiety of trying to figure all this out completely alone.
It's a massive burden trying to do it solo.
This isn't just buying information, it's investing in a strategic advantage. It's about installing a proven process designed to ensure your success.
Okay, so here is your clear command. If you're serious about this, if you're ready to take control, visit kurs.esamshalol.com NOW.
Let's spell that out. kurs.esamshalol.com.
kurs.esamshalol.com. Go there now. Secure your access to the complete ArztWerden system today. We've also put the link right there in the description of this deep dive so you can just click it.
Stop hesitating. Install your success.
That really is the bottom line. That's it for this deep dive. Seize this opportunity. Don't let it slip by. We'll see you inside the course at kurs.esamshalol.com.